Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After the mid-season finale, not waiting 5 weeks, we're just jumping straight back into this 1 week later, and last time, we met Daisy. Her name is no longer Sky. We met her real name, we met her real name, which was Daisy, which, a name I immediately fell in love with, and did not resort to using anything else. I found that her name was Daisy. I was more than happy to start calling her Daisy. So we met her, and both in regards to her and Raina, both of their inhumanities were unlocked by placing the Diviner into the Temple of the Kree, where they took it. But that scene was mind blowing. And a mist was released. I think the Diviner opened up, there was a crystal inside, the mist was released, and they were both hit by the mist, and the obeliskifying stones type mineral started like spreading all over their skin. Then we lost Trip. Trip is dead. Trip is now dead. I think there's no further confirmation. We saw him turning to obeliskness and whatever. We saw him turning to stone essentially, and then he was crumbling away. Like for Daisy and Raina, there might be little points here and there where I accidentally call her Sky again, but I know she's Daisy. Okay, so just cut me some slack here. But for Daisy and Raina, we saw the obelisk stuff was going over their skin. Someone actually pointed that out. Like it was actually going over their skin, but the Trip, just like with the other people who weren't worthy, it went under his clothes into his skin and formed out from there. So that was him turning to stone officially. And then afterwards, she exploded from the stuff. She was literally hovering in the air, and she exploded from the stuff, all majestic and angel-like. And Raina, we saw it crumbling from hers, but Raina looked visually different. She had different eyes, and she had like little pricks and stuff like going out and growing out of her skin, so she was different, but we didn't really see much of her. She kind of retreated into the shadows a little bit, so we didn't really see much of her. But with Daisy, we saw her hovering, and then she looked over at Trip, and he was literally crumbling away. So Trip, we lost an agent. We lost a mighty agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., a legacy agent no less. But yeah, Trip did that to save her life. He kicked the crystals off the pedestal to save her life, and he paid the price for it too. So yeah, so R.I.P. to Trip, but Daisy and Raina have had their inhumanities unlocked, so that was cool. And we saw at the end there was another diviner belonging to some kind of eyeless dude, and he was on the phone with someone, and he said there's another one. He said there's another one, so I'm guessing he sensed another inhuman waking up. But he has no eyes, so that was what caught me most off guard. But then he also has a diviner of his own that was kind of going off and stuff, like some kind of phone or whatever. But yeah, and then what else? We had Cal. We had Cal being revealed, and he went after Whitehall, but then Coulson killed him before he had the chance. So then him and Coulson had kind of waged out their own little battle of the dads before Daisy came along and saved Coulson. And everyone's caught in the middle of something, like Mac and Coulson are caught on the outside of the temple. May is standing over the hole, and everywhere's shaking. Everywhere's shaking like almost like an earthquake, somewhat, like the building's crumbling down, the earth is shaking, stuff like that. So I don't know if that happened when Daisy did her thing, when Daisy actually burst out the thing. That it started when she did. So I don't know if that's something to do with her, or if it's just like a general kind of transformational thing, like new Inhumans have been unlocked to make sure the planet knows this. So I don't know, but yeah, it was a whopper of an episode. It was a whopper of a mid-season finale. But yeah, that was incredible, and you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys really enjoyed that reaction. You guys are enjoying all the stuff that's coming out. So I really appreciate the support. Coming forward for this stuff. But yeah, this show is going great. This season as a whole is going great. The more I watch this stuff, the more I love this show. And I'm only 2 seasons in. There's like what? There's 7 seasons now. Season 7 is coming out in May. But yeah, there's like 7 seasons now, so I've got so much more to go. But I'm already loving everything that's coming out of this. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got from the last one. So episode 11, Aftershocks. Let's go. Let's dive in. Whoa, a teleporter! Is that a Nightcrawler? No, it can't be Nightcrawler. Oh, it's him, the eyeless dude. Oh. Sky's mother. Okay. Oh.
It's gonna be okay, beautiful.
Oh.
I'll show you the way.
Yeah, she's definitely a mother. She's definitely a mother.
It's okay to cry.
Oh, can he cry?
I'm trying.
If only she was here to guide her own daughter through all of this.
It happens too much.
It's Howling Commando stuff.
People in, documenting whatever they can in the tunnels.
Oh yeah.
Cleaning up, but still going.
They picked his pieces up.
Be careful with that.
They picked his pieces up. His
finished.
face was halved and shit.
It's a miracle you're still alive.
Well, it would be pretty piss-taking if she died after all of that. Like she goes through all of that and then she's killed by falling debris.
Not yet.
And who would you like to see fill it, Dr. List?
Dr. List. He's the guy from Age of Ultron! Yeah, the guy who worked with Strucker. Oh, oh god. Oh. What are you doing? You're just slashing and dashing. Oh. Oh. She got a good couple of shots in.
Quarantine survival kit.
We could really use that now. That has aged very well. That has aged very well.
I've been in quarantine before, and I know it can drive you absolutely nuts.
This has aged all too well. All too well.
I was beginning to. You gunned Ward down, then were blasted by an alien chemical weapon, and walked out unscathed.
We stand. We stand.
I think you're a rock star.
A star named Daisy.
You know what it's like to lose control? To be trapped inside your own body, unable to tell it what to do? To watch yourself hurt the people that you care about?
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
It's okay.
He does? Am I missing something? I was trying to remember like a moment like that, but has Fitz gone through that? Or is that metaphorical? I'm gonna take a guess and say it's
Can you
metaphorical.
request exit?
Guys, stop.
No, it's cathartic.
No, this isn't cathartic. This isn't.
He's only trying to stop Hydra.
I'm sorry, what? Okay, guys, come on, calm down, guys. Guys, you wanna calm down, okay? Because you're stressing Daisy out.
And with Whitehall dead, Bakshi may be even more.
Oh yeah, your boss is dead, yeah.
We'll never have a chance to get the upper.
Oh, Jesus! Yeah, 2 out in the open. 2 out in the open. Nuh-uh. Oh, Christ. Christ on a candle. Why is it just the 2 of them? Oh, nice. Ah, I see. Yeah. Oh, Melinda May. Oh, May. No. Okay, this is fake. Okay, no, this is fake. That's fake. That's fake. No, that is fake. Wait, what? Oh, this was autoplay? That was a sting the entire time.
alive? Really?
They only had a day to come up with this whole thing.
Oh.
No one would say anything.
Oh, that was amazing. That was really smart.
Is every Radio Shack a Hydra outpost?
Does he not recognize Hunter?
Always suspected.
I should have been trying to terminate it. Erase it from existence.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Not the Avengers. The Avengers wouldn't be necessary if we hadn't unleashed alien horrors.
Oh, Jesus.
Fragments.
Yeah, this trip thing is sending the team all sorts of places, good and bad. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that doesn't make Skye feel any better about herself, knowing what she's infected with.
Oh, I am Val.
Yeah, she very much did.
What the hell have I become?
Oh, ho, 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 ho. She's changed.
She received a gift meant for me. Came through the mist as beautiful as ever.
What?
Wait, that's just Daisy. That's just Daisy.
Was there too?
Yeah, that's just Daisy.
The bitch took what was mine!
You don't want to talk about his daughter like that. No, you don't want to talk about his daughter like that.
Parades.
Oh, it's even her hair. Look at the ones of her hair too.
You'll put her on the index.
No, he won't.
Like a shark.
No, he won't.
She'll come to me when she sees how they treat those particular individuals.
Coulson would never let anything bad happen to her.
My insides feel like gravel.
Oh ho ho.
I cut myself when I move.
Oh ho ho.
I can't live as this repulsive creature.
And don't.
Well, don't encourage that. Don't encourage that.
We're in a support group. Okay. See, this is the reason I didn't tell
Yeah,
you.
even that doesn't even sound believable to me.
I'm laughing because it's great. And I support it, really.
Okay, maybe it's true. I'm kind of skeptical on that.
Even more.
Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical on
Actually,
that.
health. Do you guys pass around a talking stick?
No, it's a talking teddy bear.
I hope I didn't blow my chance to work on Lola one.
That little RC version you built for me, I'm genuinely considering.
Yeah, the remote control one, yeah.
Although I couldn't figure out how to make it fly.
Yeah, Lola can fly. That's her biggest deal.
So, I do think Maxwell's a matter we should consider. I'm just saying that if they have to, it may not be the worst thing.
Well, she already feels like a freak of nature. To put her down for that exact reason would not help things. Especially if you tried to do so, you fail to do so, and then she realizes why you tried to do so. Raina, what are you doing? Raina? Oh, no. Oh, no, Raina, don't do this. She's really gonna walk into open traffic?
Your heart rate was recorded at almost 300 BPM.
Whoa, that is high.
That's very fast.
Yeah, that's unnaturally fast.
That's inhuman.
It's inhuman. That's inhuman.
You survived the destruction because you caused it.
Oh.
No.
Rena wasn't the only one changed in there. And I'm pretty sure the DNA results are running right now.
No, please,
Nothing
no.
wrong with the data in my head, Sky.
No, look, dude,
There's something
come
wrong
on.
with you.
No, this is not the right way to go about this. Oh, jeez.
Trip was the embodiment of the principles he wants S.H.I.E.L.D. to be built upon.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
And
sorry.
that is S.H.I.E.L.D.'s strength. And Trip's death reminded Coulson that Hydra doesn't have that.
Come on.
It's their weakness.
Oh no, Bobby and Hunter. They're good. Oh, they got guns in the car. They're gonna James Bond the crap out of this. Okay, that was good. Because you're gonna die. Oh, poison gas. Poison gas. They're eliminating all the other heads of Hydra. Ooh, she's getting obeliskified. Yep, he's getting obeliskified. Yeah, Bakshi's down. Oh, headshot. Oh no, Bakshi's still up. Okay, Bakshi's still alive.
They couldn't get to us. So we had to slaughter each other.
You know what? Why cut off the heads of Hydra when you can make them cut each other out? Yeah.
Switch your blood results with your old samples. Give me a hand.
Oh.
The new samples are different.
Drastically.
Oh, Jesus.
Until everyone around here calms down. For now, we should just keep it between us.
Oh, Christ. That is not going to end all. You're keeping stuff from the team. They're not going to be okay when they find out.
This is all my fault. After I let this happen and...
You can't blame this on yourself, Daisy.
You're just different now, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Tell that to Raina. Is she still walking into open traffic? Oh, she's still... Whoa! Force field. Oh, it's him. It's Gordon.
I'll show you the way.
Oh, he's going to take her in. He's going to help her. Oh, damn. Oh, she can... Wait, she can... No. Oh, it's a projector. Whoa, what's that? Oh, is that the cube? The cube of S.H.I.E.L.D. data.
Fury's toolbox is locked in Coulson's office.
Oh.
Did you manage to wrangle the blueprints from the base?
No, exactly. See, I was skeptical it was a support group. This ain't no support group type shit. No.
No, he'd say, come on, girl.
It's a very Trip thing to say.
We're gonna laugh a lot less. That's for sure.
That's the end of the episode. Great. Fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, so starting off, 1983 is where we meet the eyeless dude, and his name is Gordon. So apparently something happened in 1983 too, and it's called the Teragenesis. It's to do with the mist being released, and the last time we saw mist being released was in I don't know what year this was. I mean, 2014, I'd say, probably. 2014 sounds about right-ish. 2013, 2014. And he... or 2014, 2015, probably, maybe. Just somewhere around that kind of gap. But yeah, he was hit by a mist, and they're calling it the Teragenesis. So that's a funky name. But he had the power to teleport. I think he couldn't see. I mean, that's kind of a given. He had no eyes. I mean, I'm still wondering if he actually doesn't have eyes, or if the eyes are just covered with skin. Because if that were the case, then if that were the case, then he'd probably be, eligible for some kind of surgery to remove the eyelid, to remove the eyes and make eyelids instead, or something like that. But I don't know. He doesn't have any sight, so he was relying solely when Daisy's mother came along, Jia-Ying. Is her name. When she came along, I was right about her thing, like her being able to live almost endlessly, her not being able to age, or not having to age, her being able to live endlessly. She was able to help a lot of people, and even the guy next to her said that, given her benefit of not aging as fast. She was able to help generations of kids through this. So there were other kids, there were legitimate kids who went through this as well, who went through this change and couldn't control it. So she took them in, Gordon being one of them, and helped them through that change. So if only she was still alive to help her own dear daughter do this change. But no, Whitehall had to be a Nazi dickbag and take that away from us, and take that away from Daisy especially. Yeah, he could teleport, and so that was his power, and that was his change. So he's inhuman. So the Teragenesis is the name, I think, of the transformation, perhaps. The mist is how the transformation is activated. The mist is like a gas or whatever that infects the Inhumans, the worthy people, the Inhumans. And they then go through the transformation. So, yeah, so Raina's transformation was very much visible. We saw her for the first time now. We saw her. She had yellowish eyes. She had, claws on her instead of fingernails, and she had thorns growing out of her hands and her skin as a whole. And she even said she was in pain. She was in pain because the thorns themselves hurt, but then her insides were like gravel, and every time she moved she hurt and she cut herself, so it was just nothing but pain. So I think that's going to be a long road to control for her. But then at the end she was picked up by Gordon. She was picked up by Gordon at the end. So yeah, so he's gonna pass on Jia-Ying's teachings and help guide her through her transformation. So yeah, but who he was talking to, I'm curious as to how many other Inhumans there are, or how many others he's in contact with. So yeah, but then I'm curious as to whether it was. I think it could have been S.H.I.E.L.D. who tried to pick her up, because they were on the manhunt for Raina anyway. So I think those officers at the end were S.H.I.E.L.D. I just can't tell, because they all wear the same kind of matte black body armor kind of thing. So unless there's an actual S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hydra badge or tag or something, I can never tell what those soldiers actually are. So yeah, but he picked her up, so he's going to help her through her transformation. So that was cool. The team, oh boy, the team. Saying the team is angry is quite the understatement, I feel like. Because I think Mac was especially angry. I think at the beginning he was pissed off because what caused all of this was Skye and Coulson's insistence and continuous search for the meaning behind the alien writing. From the start he was skeptical and worried about this alien stuff. He was like, even in the writing on the wall episode when Daisy told him what Project Tahiti was, he was like, imagine having like a half alien guy as a leader, or having an alien in the team or something. He was skeptical about all of that stuff. So this one, it makes it worse, having lost Trips. Or Tripp's death has amplified all of this to 11. So they're all either angry, upset, or scared, or just a combination of all three of them. And Mac started off just being angry. It was they're searching for all of that stuff and not leaving it alone. I mean, because they couldn't leave it alone, because it's something that directed Skye and Daisy And because I love how I'm more than happy to use her name in the last episode, but with this one, I keep having to switch back and forth. And you know what doesn't help? It's the fact that the team still calls her Sky. It's the fact that the team still calls her Sky, and the fact that she doesn't even mention, oh yeah, my dad kind of told me my name's Daisy, so if you guys could use that name, then that's totally cool. I mean, I don't even know if she's open to using that name, but I guess there's going to be an episode where we meet up with him again, and then she starts to use that name again. But yeah, it would be easier for me to use Daisy, and I'll have to switch back and forth if the team knew the truth. So yeah, but it was something that directly affected Daisy and Coulson. Both of them being recipients of the GH formula, and Daisy especially having been inhuman to begin with, having had something like that in her system to begin with. So it was something that they both knew affected them, and they both, like, you know, it was a part of them both, and they needed explanations for it. So the ongoing search led to many different ends, and you know, they found many dark secrets, and Hydra followed them on that trail, and all of this ended up here. So you know, Mac was angry as all hell at that. And then Fitz as well. Him pinning that destruction on Daisy, and her heartbeat was inhuman. I love that line. Like, you know, your heartbeat was 300 beats per minute. She's like, that's really, really high. And he's like, no, that's not just high, that's inhuman. But yeah, her heartbeat 300 beats per minute. That's, I mean, given all that was going on, I do not understand how your heartbeat would not understandably be anywhere like outside of a stress point. Like how you would not be incredibly stressed, like watching the Diviner opening up and crystals coming out, and then you're knocked back, and you see your friend turn to stone in the corner, and you have no choice, and you can't even help him or anything. Like how you would not have a heartbeat up to a cajillion miles per hour or beats per minute or whatever is beyond me. But yeah, her heartbeat was at 300 beats per minute, and he managed to lock that back into this. And even when she you know, burst out like from her cocoon, the watch itself, he said it was shattered from the inside out, but it was still on her hand, so it was still attached to her, but fragments of it from the inside out burst open, and that destroyed it. But then she was unscathed. She was completely unscathed, and you know, and she was the one who caused it, so she caused the earthquake, and Fitz obviously saying that, you know, the only reason you couldn't, like, the only reason you wouldn't have been damaged by it is if you were the one who caused it. And you know, I think in the moment he just doesn't exactly understand what that implies. Like, you know, Fitz was clearly Trip wasn't killed. Well, Trip wasn't killed by the other way. He was killed because he knocked the thing off the pedestal and then took a few shots himself. So that was that. But yeah, I mean, there's no specific blame being assigned because there is no one to blame. Hydra are the ones who have forced their hands for this long, and they've made them run the chase even longer. And Trip, he made the sacrifice play thinking it was the right thing. He did it thinking he could save Sky. The crystals released that mist, and then he thought, you know, if I kick the crystal off, then it will stop whatever's happening. But no, he kicked it off. He paid the price before he took the shots, and then that happened there. And then he was dead from the moment he turned to stone. But then the earthquake, like, waves sent out by Daisy just poured salt in the open wound, and it just crumbled him to pieces too. He was dead from the moment he turned to stone. Nothing would have stopped that. So yeah, but then Fitz saying that, you know, she was the one who caused the earthquake, thinking that she was the one who caused all the damage and almost killed everyone, and potentially even led to Trip's death. I don't really think, you know, even in as much as he's just sharing his own concern, I don't really think he understands the implications of that kind of accusation. And then Gemma as well. Gemma really surprised me. Her saying that she wants to eradicate this alien plague, saying that everything alien, that, like, she was saying that, you know, she was initially interested in this alien stuff because it was, like, you know, it was unearthly science, and she was, like, interested to explore it and see what it was like and how it compared and how it could be useful. But now she's learning about all the dark sides of it and just how much damage it can cause, and now she wants to find Raina and put her down because of her previous alien experience. And even the situation with the Avengers, the Battle of New York, saying that, you know, that was only, you know, that was only caused because of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s initial experimentation with alien technology, which is true. Their experimentation with the Tesseract alerted the other and Thanos and everything. Like, you know, we even hit in the opening line of the movie, it's literally the Tesseract has awakened. They're sensing that the Tesseract's power is being tested, and that's why they're sending Loki there, and then the Avengers are born, and Chitauri, we've seen the movie, and, you know, all that stuff, and then that leads into this, and then they and then, you know, even in this one, they're like, even in this show, they're like, a lot of the time, or at least half the time at least, they are left to clean up the mess after the Avengers stuff, like, the Thor episode where they found the Berserker staff left behind by the Asgardians when they're in the middle of like picking out I think was that the same episode that after the Thor the Dark World when they were cleaning up the stuff? I think so, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't connect those two things. But regardless, they've come across alien tech before, and she's been, again, initially, she even said initially she was excited to do it, excited to explore it because it was something new and different and seeing what its possibilities were. But now she's understanding that the possibilities can be negative, and a lot of the time they are negative. So yeah, so now her and so then after that she wanted to just put Raina down, just, you know, without even knowing what she was capable of, just thinking that, you know, oh, she's probably just like some kind of alien plague, we need to destroy it, and even thinking that, you know, if the same thing is inside Skye, then what would she be willing to do to Skye to get rid of the alien plague? Like, what if it's so much a part of her that she has to kill Skye to do it? Like, would she really go that far? I don't know, but yeah, I think that's one of the great things about this episode. This episode, Trip's death, all the stuff happening with the earthquake and the obelisk and everything, it brought out dark sides in pretty much everyone. Just, you know, everyone going into places of fear and anger and suffering and just taking out on other people and taking out on each other. So it was good to see that explored, and especially Daisy being in quarantine. Again, for today's day and age, that has aged massively, and especially Bobby giving her own quarantine kit as well. And being like, you know, oh, I know being in quarantine can drive you nuts because you can't leave, you're isolated and stuff like that. Is just that is aging so well. So on that note, I hope you guys are doing okay in these times. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying well. And any essential workers out there, thank you for all your hard work. We all sincerely appreciate it. But yeah, that age, I think just seeing that take place, I was like, yeah, this has aged really well. This has aged super, super well. So no Terrigen Mist for us, unfortunately, just COVID-19. But yeah, but that is that. But Daisy being in quarantine, I think it's like, I think one of the things about that is that Daisy being in quarantine, especially, it still plays a good role. It still plays a large role. I think in any other show, and especially, I hate to say this, but especially in a CW show, like an Arrowverse show, I think a character being in quarantine, most of the time, it would mean that they're out for the episode, because if they're in some kind of quarantine situation, unless it actually matters to the story, then it just means that they're going to be off screen, and this is as little as they can be. But with this one, this is one of the times where it's actually essential to the story. We see how she's doing, what's happening, and especially when the team's arguing, her tremors are being set off. She's trembling. The lights are flickering on off the cans, you know, rocking from side to side and everything. And, you know, when Fitz was telling her about the destruction she caused, like, she blew the lights out and everything. So she's discovering more of her powers. So her power, like, what are her powers then? Like, so she has superpowers. That is something I just failed to mention at this point. She has superpowers. The mist gave her powers. But yeah, I mean, well, she is like earthquakes because she exploded from her cocoon and she sent out earthquake waves and caused that. And then with this one, she kind of can, I think, because I think her moving the can around, that kind of screamed, that kind of signified like telekinesis to me, like moving objects with her mind, like just kind of doing that, like, but like in a more uncontrollable way. But then the lights flashing out, that could be, I mean, that's like a trigger pretty much. It's just her powers being triggered by emotional distress. But then I'm wondering if it actually is earthquakes, or if the earthquakes were just. I'm wondering if the earthquake was just a sign of the transformation, like her actually bursting out the cocoon. If the earthquake was just that, or if that actually is her power, if she can actually send out earthquakes. Because I think that would be more destructive, wouldn't it? Because earthquake, I mean, that's quite a broad thing. If you send out an earthquake, it just destroys the environment as a whole, unless you can do it in a more concentrated manner or something. Or if it really is telekinesis, then, you know, that would still make sense, I guess, for the tremors thing. Like, she's still being triggered by, you know, being around shouting and arguing and stuff, and it's still triggering something in her emotionally. So then her powers just kind of fluctuate and just kind of burst out of her, and then she just sends objects flying across the room. So I don't know. So yeah, I guess maybe either earthquakes or telekinesis. Maybe. I think Yeah, the only thing telling me telekinesis is was the can rattling about on the table. That was it. So I don't know. Maybe that's far off. Maybe it is just earthquakes. I don't know. But yeah, but she has powers though. That's cool. She has power. That's pretty cool. But she does not feel very cool. She does not feel very cool, understandably. Her being in quarantine, especially for this reason, she's kind of getting on okay. But we see that she's struggling to find out what the hell's happened to her. Her DNA results, like, you know, even Fitz said he swapped out the DNA results. I was waiting. I thought. You know what I mean? You know, it makes sense. If Simmons found her true DNA results, she would have been like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is wrong with your blood now? Like, why are you, like, because he said it was drastically different. It was like, you know, just so far off. And even Raina's DNA symptoms, her DNA sample showed that, you know, that there were like, I think, what did Simmons call it, like macromolecules or something attached to them and stuff. So there was more in her than there ever was before, and it was what made her so different. So with Skye, it could be that exact same thing, or it could be that but doubled. So hers were drastically different. So her DNA results probably just scream or sing inhuman in the most harmonious of tones. But yeah, her DNA sample was different. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that she very much feels different. She knows something's different, and it's why she's in quarantine. So she's kind of she very much feels like an animal in a cage, and she's kind of not able to interact with anybody else unless they're in a hazmat suit. But yeah, and again, it's kind of aging well for this. It's aged well for today's day and age, so it feels weirder in that sense. But yeah, I think Daisy being quarantined, especially like the amount of the episode focused on her and how she's doing feels right. It feels suitable. It's paced very well. I just want to hug her. She feels so bad. She feels so strange and wrong, and she just needs a hug. She just needs the biggest, warmest hug anybody the world has to offer. So yeah, and that episode, that scene with Fitz going in and him reassuring her, like that's like a brotherly sisterly bond right there. Like, you know, Fitz just taking Skye in and just, you know, reassuring her that things are okay and that she's gonna be okay and stuff. You know, like I think they've always had that kind of bond, like a brother sister kind of relationship there. So that was cool to see. But yeah, I just really want to hug Skye. She deserves the world, and she's going through a tough time right now, and she deserves to be reassured that things are going to be okay. And especially, and she's a member of the team too, which means that she's also mourning Tripp's death. I don't know why I keep getting those names mixed up, but Tripp's death. But yeah, at the end they did explore that, you know, Tripp's absence is going to be very much recognized by the team. Like Tripp was like an energy beam for the team. He was that beacon of light and humor and humanity and stuff. And you know, and Skye's Daisy's line being like, you know, we're all gonna laugh a lot less now. Like, it's true. Like, you know, like he would always, you know, be on the spot with, you know, quirky comments or witty comments or, you know, sarcasm and stuff. So, you know, it's gonna be, even as a viewer myself, it's gonna be weird watching this and knowing that Tripp's not in it. It's gonna be very, very strange. And even that scene broke my heart of Coulson taking his Howling Commander stuff back to his mother, and you see on the corner there's the photo of Tripp and his mother, and then Coulson looks up and you see the picture of, I think it was I saw it for a split second because I was too busy fucking bawling my eyes out, but it was I believe it was a photo of the Howling Commandos. Yeah, the Howling Commandos. Yeah, I remembered, like, you know, the split second I actually looked up, I saw Bucky and Tripp's grandfather. But yeah, I love these tie-ins. I love these tie-ins, and yeah, I think, and it's amazing to think that, you know, I was so surprised, like, they had that tie-in for Tripp as well. Like, he's a legacy agent, he's a grandson of a Howling Commander, so he took his job very seriously. But he also didn't make it too known. He said he didn't really mention it because he didn't want to be treated any differently. He didn't want that kind of attention on him. He didn't want to be given any kind of special treatment or recognition. He just wanted to be, he wanted to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. in his father's honor, in his grandfather's honor, and, you know, work in honor under his name, but he didn't want to be known as, oh, the grandson of a Howling Commander. He wanted to be recognized for his own work and his own dedication to the job, but he also wanted to honor his grandfather's name and carry on the good fight. You know, he even, I think that line from that episode back in season 1, he said, you know, like, my grandfather defeated Hydra back in the day, we'll do the same now. He believed in those very same ideals, and Coulson believed in that. So yeah, that is an emotional fucking tie-in. Oh. But yeah, That was great. That was great to see. But yeah, I'm gonna miss Trip so damn much. But yeah, Hydra, there was some Hydra stuff going on. So I'll be honest, I was kind of in and out for the Hydra stuff. I wasn't, I was kind of like, for a bit of it, my mind was elsewhere thinking about other stuff. But then for the most part, I was still kind of tracked in and stuff. So I understood most of what was going on. I think the overall gist I got from it was that Hydra, the heads of Hydra were, they were there. Dr. List, I recognized him. I recognized his face for a split second. I thought, he seems familiar. And then they mentioned his name, Dr. List. And I was like, Dr. List, that name does sound familiar. And then he mentioned Von Struck. And I was like, yeah, he's the guy from Age of Ultron. He's the Doctor from Age of Ultron. So I think that leads me to believe this is pre-Age of Ultron. This is pre-Sokovia, any of that stuff. And Strucker was mentioned by Ward as well. He said, Strucker's overseas, so you're clearly taking orders from someone else, to Bakshi. So that was causing Dr. List, but Dr. List survives, we know that, because he has to show up in Age of Ultron and be knocked the fuck out there. But yeah, so the heads of Hydra were meeting up to decide who could be the new head. And there were definitely more than two there. But yeah, so what I got from this one, a great ploy, by the way, to trick Bakshi into thinking that he was being rescued by Hydra. I think I was confused as that he didn't recognize Hunter. I thought he would have. I thought he might have seen Hunter, especially because since he was in when he was in Shield custody and he was being interrogated by Bobby when he was choking on his own froth, like after biting none of that cyanide pill. I thought, it might have been a case of, he would see Strucker, he would see Hunter at the corner of his eye and he might recognize him, but he didn't recognize him at all. No recognition there, so that was convenient. But yeah, great ploy by Shield to trick him into thinking he was going to Hydra custody, and May getting shot, that caught me off guard. But I was like, wait, no, that surely that was just like a shoulder shot, right? Like it was a shoulder shot that knocked her out, maybe. I thought, but then Coulson screaming no made me all the more afraid for it. Like, no, wait, what is this? No, is this real? And then Coulson being like, you'll never take us alive. Agreed. That was kind of OTT, but Coulson pulled it off nonetheless, and he gets shot in the back, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is fake. It's got to be fake. No, killing May is one thing that would pull me away from this show, but then killing Coulson too, like killing both leads, like, really? Killing both of those kind of characters, like, that just seems all wrong to me. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, this has to be some kind of, like, they're wearing face masks, or it's, I don't know, something's happening. But then Bobby comes out and it's like, it's like, May gets back up and Coulson gets back up and it's like, yeah, it's just a play. It's just tricking Bakshi into thinking he's back in Hydra custody. So, yeah, that was smart. But their plan all along was to just make the heads of Hydra knock each other out. So, smart planning. Because the one thing you have to remember that the movies and this show has taught us, the one thing you have to remember when going up against Hydra is cut off one head, two more take its place. That's their whole thing. That is literally their one catchphrase besides from Hail Hydra. So, instead of taking out one leader for yourself and letting 5 others step up into the limelight, just make them kill each other off. Like, just make the Hydra kill itself. Just make the Hydra bite its own heads off and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was smart. Smart strategy. And then the car had like machine guns in it. They James Bonded those other Hydra agents. That was cool. And then they engaged the protocol, and then they had other assassins taking out the other Hydra heads. So they obeliskified them all. Like one woman had her champagne spiked. The other guy was in an elevator. Another guy was poison gassed in a car, so they took out the other Hydra heads. That was a smart move. But yeah, so the ending too, I think Bobby and Mac, they have their own thing going. Yeah, I was skeptical about the whole support group thing from the beginning. I did not fall for the support group thing at all. Like, I don't know, because it didn't, because for one thing, we know it's not, like, the way Bobby and Mac have talked about it to each other in secrecy indicates that it's something completely different. So support group is just something that, Bobby came up with it off the top of her head. She made it sound plausible because, like, all this going on, Mac and I needed to, get our heads together and actually, try and, sort through things, safely and securely. So, okay, sure, that makes sense. But, at the ending, it can't fly. The RC Lola can't fly, but it does have like a scanner projector thing that scans around the room, and it checked down the Coulson's desk, and they found the toolbox that Fury gave him, and apparently there's other blueprints. So there's other blueprints and stuff. So apparently they are building something. So what that is, I don't know. If it's like a new team or Because I don't think they're gonna separate from S.H.I.E.L.D., are they? I don't think they're gonna like go their own way or try and build their own agency, because I think that would take too long and it also probably wouldn't work. But what they want with the toolbox, I mean, the toolbox contains all the S.H.I.E.L.D. intel that was necessary for Coulson to kickstart S.H.I.E.L.D. and then carry on from there. So it's safe to say I don't know if it's S.H.I.E.L.D. specific, but I don't know. I mean, because if they can use it to create something new, then it's clear that it contains the intel needed to create a new intelligence agency, but just not S.H.I.E.L.D. specific. So I mean, it could still include S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff for S.H.I.E.L.D., but basically speaking, it contains like a foundation thing for a new intelligence agency. So that's something they could use. But then, yeah, and like, even before Hunter mentioned that, like, oh, you're building something and you need allies. Like Mac is one of the allies in her corner for whatever she's building. So I don't know what I mean. Yeah, I'm just curious as to what she's building. Like if it is a new team and she's the leader of it, like she's Mockingbird, she is that superhero. So I guess maybe if she's kind of kickstarting her own little kind of super group of agents or whatever, agents of probably not Mockingbird. That would sound really long and bad, but I don't know. She's building something and she needs Mac's help to do it, which he's more than happy to help with, and he's helping her, take intel from Coulson. So that's gonna backfire. And do you know what else is gonna backfire? Backtracking a bit, backfiring. Daisy and Fitz keeping the blood sample information to themselves. That's going to backfire horrendously. Like, because for one thing, that's important information that they could actually use to help Daisy, using her new blood samples to figure out how to help her. That's something they could do. And for another thing, it's something that's good for the team to be aware of, that there is someone gifted and with extra normal abilities on their side in their team, someone that can help them, letting them know that she's changed allows them to understand her better medically, and if she does have powers, she can train with those powers. She can become a we have a superhero on the team. We have a legitimate superhero. Daisy is a superhero. She has powers. She can fight. She's a superhero. I don't know why you would want to keep that hidden. Like, again, they might react a bit. I mean, some of them might react a bit drastically, but give them time, they'll come around. And most importantly, that it's the team. They need to know. They need to know who's on their side and what's on their side. So, keeping this between yourselves right now is gonna backfire, and I do not look forward to the blowback when it finally gets revealed. But either way, I am stoked to see more of Daisy's superpowers. Thinking about it just clocked in my head. So thinking about that alone has me hyped. I'm stoked to see Daisy's superpowers and see her unleashing more of whatever she has. But before all that, I do want to see her reaching a point, like a point of positive mental stability first. I do want to see her. I mean, right now she's scared, she's worried, she doesn't know what the hell's going on. She's worried for herself, she's worried for the team. So I think we need to see that part of her being remedied first before we jump into the whole super suit and flying and whatever else she has. So I do want to see her growing and developing herself and being better herself before she jumps into exploring who she is now. So yeah, this was an emotional kind of whopper of an episode, an emotional sledgehammer of an episode, but the team is broken. That is expected after the loss of an agent like Trip as well. That's expected, and I feel sorry for his mother. My condolences to his mother for having to deal with this loss. But yeah, it makes sense that going into this now, not everyone's going to be happy. Not everyone's going to be comfortable with everything that's going on. They're going to need answers. They're going to need some sense of stability. So it's going to take some time to reach that point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have from this one. It was a great episode. Looking forward to the next one. But yeah, anything I missed out on or misinterpreted, comments are open. Feel free to let me know. Spoiler free. Thank you very much. But yeah, hope you guys are all staying safe out there once again. Hoping these videos are of some help to you. Just taking your mind off of reality and enjoying some reactions if that's even possible. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this one, so I'll see you guys next week. But yeah, that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 11, titled Aftershocks. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and button that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next in the season. And yeah, that's it. So, I will see you guys next time.